I think it is becoming commonly shared and known the effect of the cabal war against humanity, the families that are fighting humanity for thousands of years, especially in the 20th century, and now they're using all sort of weaponry. I don't mention it now, not all of it anyway. It is also commonly known that people create a sense of self-determination by defending themselves from this attack. That is maybe starting with a false sense of ego. When you are attacked when you are a child, when you abused as a child, when you live in an environment that is abusive, that is painful. So people would create a phenomena within themselves, and until now, people talk about it like replication of the abuse. People create abuse for themselves. People go around with abuse. People don't grow up appropriately like they could have if they didn't have this defense to make. So people are defending themselves by creating abuse, by creating walls, by creating a definition of a wall between them and the whatever. So it's becoming common knowledge that people suffer inwardly because they relate and they create a wall, defense. Hard parts in their body are trying to change into a sort of barrier. So if there is attack on a certain, the attack of the outside phenomena is reducing a certain organ function, or it hurts anything inside the body, so there will be muscles and attempts of different parts to protect it. In the same fashion, if somebody, which most people are, living in scarcity, and they don't have any opportunity, any ability, and financial ability, because we live in scarcity, because we don't have means to travel, to get what we want, to meet whoever we need to go to meet, and we don't have money to develop our project and make our lives the way that we would have if we didn't have these conditions. So the effect of this is one creating limitation on himself, saying, I cannot go, I cannot change work, my working place, I suffer in my work, I work because I must. And I find it really abusive and ridiculous that people still promote the idea of work, that, for example, President Trump is so proud of him having created so many jobs. Why work? So we are to work so that we are protecting ourselves from the situation of scarcity and troubles. That's the only solution that was given to us. That is a workable solution, that is to work in order to protect ourselves from the abuse of this scarcity. So I think it is becoming common knowledge that work, like a disease, It's a means of protecting one part of the self from another part of the self, because one part is replicating the abuse by creating dysfunctioning parts of the bodies, hardening parts of the body to protect other parts. So the same, when you go to work, you are protecting the system, in fact. So people sacrifice their lives in so many ways because they're trying to protect from something that they cannot really handle. And then there is a tendency, there is a recommendation for everybody to take all of this inward and to scan it inwardly means of meditation, so they can expand their perspective. And maybe the greater the perspective, you may find a way around this problem. However, the more you create a greater perspective of understanding this universe, understanding the creatures, the species, the space, whatever, scientifically, you understand it. You expand your size of love to everything, so this abuse may look smaller in dimension. However, the more you advance on your way to comprehend this problem, the more the abuse strengthened, and it becomes so bluntly put in your face, all these lies and the work and the disease and the thing that you have to fight against from the morning till the evening. So even if one has acquired and shared the immortal kind of consciousness, still we will be bashing and fighting with creating this replication of abuse within ourselves. So we are having to cover with one perspective, with a higher perspective. We cover the smaller perspective. With a smaller perspective is one that automatically derives from reacting to abuse, and since you are a small child. So if there is a war out there and everybody's fighting to destroy this planet, to destroy these people, from children, older people, the elderly, whoever, they work all their lives to protect from an abuse. They're fighting within themselves and create barriers to protect themselves from attack, not get, ill. And, authority of meditation and consciousness, they advise us to melt down the barriers and become open to the world. But when we become open to the world, what happens is we become much easier victims, much easier targeted, much easier directly attacked. And when we ask for the advice of the masters who are not here anyway, they tell us to never mind, to love more, and by loving more, we will overcome all these troubles. And do you think children that are growing, that just came into the world, they don't have enough love to overcome this? No, they don't. They don't have children that come into the world that being abused from their mother tongue. They are being radiated all the time from the air, from the antennas, and then from the hospital. The treatment that their mother get, and the shots that they get when they're born. So you think the much love that they have help them to overcome this?